All right, welcome to another wonderful time on State Television. It's time for the program, The Faculty. I don't know if you heard me earlier on, little mix-up here and there. We apologize. After all, apologies, they always come in proper in Nigeria. When you apologize, your sins perhaps would be forgiven and people would move on. We are going to have a conversation today as regards a boat rider and an honorable member, one who speaks for the people. But somehow, sometimes when the people do wrongly, the man might just turn around hitting the people. Today's conversation is on the boat rider assault and the developing story. Here with me are two gentlemen who shall do conversation. One of them is very calm. The other one is not very calm, actually. And I would make bold to say that. One box is the one who is not calm. And I'm wondering where he's going to drive at this afternoon. But it's good to have you.
Thanks for having me here. Welcome, viewers.
One box is many things. He is many things. A media personality, an activist, an entrepreneur, one who is so passionate about people, and one who is so driven for truth. Whether his bias is wrong or right, as far as he believes it's truth, he stands by it entirely. Another man who does truth is Honorable Chika Omoso. I call him that because he has shown himself to be honorable at several moments. One-time contestant for councillorship position. When he saw, he wasn't conquered. He came up victorious, although he didn't get the seat. But he has been speaking for the people somehow and representing them. And that's the plan. That's the dream, to be that voice for the people. He's also an author, wonderful book writer. I have to learn more vocabs and how to know about current affairs by checking out some of his works. Chika Omoso, it's good to have you on the faculty.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Viewers, good afternoon.
Okay, I hope that these smiles will be maintained when we start talking about the issue on ground. It was on Monday that I got the information about how a boat rider, or e-hailing rider, had to go deliver items to a personality, Alex Ikweche, and somehow along the line, he didn't do his job very well. And just like a child, he got spanked. He got spanked. And he was warned that he would be raptured even before the trumpet sound, because he said, I would make you disappear. And that was rapture for me. If somebody's going to make somebody disappear, then he is the Messiah. That's what Christians talk about, that at some point, Christians will be raptured. For this man to say, I will make you disappear, and nobody's going to talk about it, that's a very powerful thing. He's a very handsome gentleman, by the way. I would never see this man and think he can hurt a fly. Never think this man can hurt a fly. He's quite a notable personality. I want to just let you know a little bit of who this man is, because he's not just one House of Rep member. He was a former local government chairman. So this man knows how to handle people, supposedly. He knows how to represent the people. But before we do that, before we take his apologies, let's get back to the studio. Let's get back here. I know my presentation director can't wait to let us hear what he had to say. But let's get back here and talk. I've been talking for a long time. I'll start with Chika Omoso. How did that story feel when you heard about it on Monday? You heard about it on Monday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, once again, viewers, I want to welcome you to the faculty. You see, I wasn't taken aback, I wasn't surprised, because this has happened before with Elijah some years ago with, a woman buying some sex toys and all of that. And the issue of taking laws into your hand to begin to slap a woman in public. And the question is, at the end of the day, what happened to that man? What happened to the House of Rep member? Nothing happened. You see, what the society celebrates always multiplies. Or what you ignore, whether you ignore or you celebrate it, it multiplies. This one is coming up now. We're watching, because I told someone that I think we're getting more civilized. This shouldn't be swept under the carpet. Otherwise, you have such incidents reoccurring again. So, answering your question, I wasn't taken aback, because we live in a society of the high and low, the rich and the poor. We don't see ourselves as citizens of a great nation, of one nation. We always distinguish. Even somebody wants to make a statement. The other day, I was talking of a young girl who married a senator in this state. And then he said, we want to help the poor, not citizens of Nigeria. We always have this dichotomy between us. Of the black, the white, the rich, the poor, the outside, the Yoruba. It's something that is affecting us.
We don't see ourselves as one people.
Yeah, and then the worst of them all is the governed and the governors. What I mean is those who are leading and those who they lead. You don't see the people as owning you. So there's a way you act. What happened got me to even understudy the man involved. I saw that he did not even win his election. It was God that brought him in. And some of all these things will help us to, as we grow democratically or politically, to begin to adjust how we do things. How that a first can be removed by court and automatically makes the second the winner. It's a problem. In some civilized society, it won't be so. You will do a by-election. You conduct another election to bring in the winner. In fact, growing up, I have never seen this unopposed happen in one group. If you say you are unopposed, the people will also have to vote for you to say that we sanction that you stay. So that if you did any mago-mago behind to emerge unopposed, the people are still going to determine finally whether we want you to lead us or not. Because you ask, if you go through the nitty-gritty of what transpired, you saw that there was no need for all these altercations that took place between that honorable member
we'll get there.
And the boat
driver. I don't know what one boxer's opinion would be like, but if you're all going to tilt towards an area, I would tilt towards the other area. It's part of my job. It's not the hazards of the job. Sometimes you have to talk about the other side. So if you're going to talk about the House of Rep member really going wrongly, we might look at the boat rider and see some things about him now and then. But one box, how did that feel when you heard that? I know you're an activist, and in your activism, I've seen you even speak truth to the supposed oppressed, and making us realize that the oppressed was actually the oppressor. I've seen you do that. But how did that story feel? How did it resonate to you?
The fact remains that we have some of the best laws in Nigeria. I'm talking about our human rights laws. I'm talking about the formal entrenchment of human rights in the Constitution, in the African Charter of Human and People's Rights Act, Administration of Criminal Justice Act, Anti-Torture Act, and the rest of them. But in practice, we are not doing very well with respect to educating and enlightening our people of their rights. Because the truth means that a lot of Nigerians don't even know their rights. And they don't even know when you violate their rights. That's the truth. Because the government has failed. Most Nigerians, even when you tell them you want to even advocate for their rights, they will tell you that they leave it to God. Because the government has also failed Nigerians with respect to the police, extortion, bribery. When you go to police to, maybe you want to open a case file now, they will charge you money. And by the time they charge you that money, you will not go for your right. This particular case now, I will say that the poor man was inciting the House of Rep member. But the House of Rep member failed in his duty to walk away.
Or act honorably.
He was supposed to walk away from that boat driver. And the boat driver already knows that we have some satanic activists that is going to trend whatever content he's going to create. If you watch that video very well, you see that the boat driver was intentionally, because when you see a man angry, you're supposed to walk away, because two wrongs don't make right. The boat driver had the opportunity of calling the woman that gave him that those snakes to deliver, to complain to her that this man refused to pay me. The woman will know how to address that matter, because even the House of Rep member called the woman to complain. The boat driver was supposed to walk away, but he kept on setting his phone, making video. Take note that the other lady that the other senator slapped, she got 50 million naira by the end of the day.
So you think they might be
through a civil suit?
Something somewhere.
And right now, I am not too comfortable that the police are coming into this matter. And you know, when you have inexperienced activists, satanic activists, handling matters, that's how it goes.
Okay,
listen, I'm going somewhere.
Because we're going to see the
You know why I say so? No, come.
Who's involved?
Can I land?
Okay, land.
Take note that in advocating for your rights, we have the criminal justice route, we have the civil suit route. Now they are going through the criminal direction, which we know that this man is a politician, he's an elite. And you know Nigeria, 1 week, one trouble. After 1 month now, Nigerians will forget about this boat driver. And the police, we know who they are. We have corrupt practice. Before you know it, this matter they might linger this matter for the next 2 years, and before you know it, the boat driver might not even be interested. So I would have advised that they should just go straight to civil suits, so that the man damages can be awarded to the man. So that compensation will be paid to him. But then, people need to be careful. This should teach everybody lesson. Whether you are an elite, whether you are a poor man, be very, very careful. The boat driver took a very big risk. What if, let us look the other way, that the House of Rep member disappeared him like he said, and he was not able to even present that phone clip. Yeah. Because some people now might be planning that they will go and be recording the elite. You might not be alive to tell what your part of the story. Because now with what happened now, these elites will now be smart. You know, they are very smart. The elite are very smart people. They will change their pattern. So if maybe the other Nigerians wants to start inciting,
are you somehow agreeing that there's some level of intentional intimidation for the part of the elite and the common man?
The truth there is that this particular matter, the boat driver is in Abuja. He knows what happened to that other lady, that sex toy matter, that young senator.
Sex toy matter came up after we heard about the story.
No, I'm just trying to tell you that
2019, 5 years ago.
Everybody in Abuja knows the sex toy trended now. The video was everywhere. It was viral.
5 years ago.
So people now know that you can make money from having issues with this elite. But in doing that, be careful. Because it's not everybody that is going to get lucky.
Okay, let's see the young man, Abu Wasei, have his conversation with the Martin Jose, who know him more as Very Dark Man. I think we have the clip of that. It was in the system. Let's see that video and see the interview from Very Dark Man and Abu Wasei.
Some police officers, I don't know the division they were assigned to. Okay. And then they bundled me to the station. I wanted to drive the car. They said no, I should not drive. So two sat beside me, and I was in their middle. And then they drove me down to the station. Okay. When they drove me down to the station, they said I should go inside. I had calls. They didn't allow me to take my calls. Okay. So they were not asking what happened. They didn't ask me. They were asking people that were not there, the police officers. And then the police officer quickly said, I went to Honorable's house and I was fighting the Honorable. I kept mute.
Did you show them the video?
I have not shown anybody the video as at that time. Okay. They've not even the security person that came to bear witness as at that time have not seen the video. Okay. As at that time. Okay. So they now referred us to crime, that we should go to crime. So we went to crime. The man was not asking what happened. As I was explaining, initially I didn't explain. The man now said he cannot actually hear from one side. The other person has to come to actually give his own side of the story. And then the police officer said, when they said I fought him, they now said no, they should go and bring the man. Immediately his security man now called him, and they passed the phone to the IPO that was in charge of the case. And then the IPO was now talking to him on the phone and stepped out of the office where we were. And after some time, he came back and said he wants to go and do investigation at the Honorable's house.
Okay, the IPO left you at the station
at the station.
Wants to go. Which station was this?
Maitama police station.
So it happened within Maitama?
It happened within Maitama.
Okay, so the IPO left you at the station and went to the Honorable's house. Okay.
And then after, they kept me there for over 2 hours. I was behind, I was at the counter. I was not detained though.
They kept you behind the counter?
They kept me behind the counter. And then after 2 hours plus, he came back. And then he was now like, why did I record the video?
Why did IPO now change
He was not trying to change the narrative. And I asked him, is there a part of the law that says I cannot record what somebody is doing to me? He was becoming a threat to me. And I had to take evidence so that people will know where I am.
By this time, was the honorable member there?
He wasn't there.
He was at home?
He was at home. So then I gave me a form to fill, to write my own statement as to what happened. As I was writing, the honorable I came. And then when he came, he started talking and he was shouting.
Even at the station?
Even at the station. He was
calling you names?
Calling me names. Like, I still kept mute and I was looking at him. So my colleagues were talking to him. Me, I've already had my own fair share of trauma from him. I don't want to actually have any engagement or any encounter with him. I just went to one corner and I sat down. And I was listening to everything he was saying. All the names he was calling me, you common boat driver, you're a poor man, you have pride in your poor, you have this, you have that. I kept mute. I said, so the problem you have now is a poor man cannot speak, that I'm in Nigeria, and I shouldn't be treated as a foreigner in this country. As I'm from Delta State, and I cannot be treated, I cannot have you treat me like a foreigner in my own
Now, when did you leave the station?
I left the station at about, I think some minutes to 3 or so.
Where's your car?
My car is still at the station.
So the police collected your car.
They collected my car.
And you left the station this morning.
Yeah, I left this.
Was the honorable member detained?
He wasn't detained.
They let him go.
They let him go.
That's really, really sad. Now, I want to ask you a question. The woman that sent you that message, do you know her name?
I didn't know her name per se.
Do you know her business name?
I don't know her business name. It was a request. But I think I checked from my boat app. I think the last request that came in when I tried calling from the app, it was, I think, Gloria.
Gloria.
Yeah.
Because she said something in that video. She said something like, and do you know who he is? She was also supporting him. That's why I'm asking you that if you know who she is. Now, what did you go and deliver to him? What even really happened? Just give me a brief summary of what happened before that video.
Okay, before the video, I actually got a request on boat.
Okay.
Right? I was closing already because I needed to resume work this morning at 8:30.
Okay.
So I was closing at 9:10. I said, let me just quickly go home so that I can have enough rest. So I got this request to Metama. I felt it was a normal request. And then she told me, no, that it's not a request, that I'm picking something up from a garden.
Okay.
Right? From a garden.
Which garden?
I don't know the name of the garden. She just described the garden that after Kado roundabout,
Okay.
you will see one orange color container, and then there's a garden beside it.
Okay.
So I just quickly went there, packed. The girl just came without wasting time, brought the package that it's a snail. I said,
Snail?
okay, snail, yeah. So she dropped it. It was the girl that brought it and dropped it on the seat. She understood that part.
Okay.
I was like, okay, there's no problem. I'm going. So on getting to the man's house, I called him. Okay, I'm at your gate. He now said, okay, I should give it to the security man. They gave it to the security man. The security man explained where the house address is. So I drove down to the house. On approaching, I called the man again. I said, Oga, I'm here. He now said, I'm not here. That if you're here, I will see you. So I drove. He now said I should park beside one car. When I parked beside the car, I saw him. But I didn't know he was the one. So I saw him seated few meters away from my car. So I greeted, good evening, sir. He didn't respond.
I say, and Martin Sose, popularly known as Very Dark Man. That conversation, I'll get to Chika Omoso before I get to one box as regards to the conversation. What did you make out? First, we'll talk about the police reaction. Very Dark Man asked the question about was the man detained too, but I think if somebody is laying charge, they would not be detained as well. You are the one who made the charge, so how would they detain you for making the charge? That was not quite a technical question from Very Dark Man, but he's not a journalist. He's, according to him, a social media police, and he's doing his own job in his own way. But what do you make out of the story? How the police reacted? Everything so far.
Well, I've heard the story even before this one came, and that gives me some reservation from what my colleague here said, that it's not about that people are staging things or trying to set up the elites. I think to whom much is given, much is expected, and those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. People should know that, and if as it were, that people are after you, then you should be wiser and smarter as a human being. See, the psychology said there are 3,000 ways you can react to something. Once it happens, there are 3,000 ways. So if you choose to react this way, it is your person. It is not because someone made you to react that way. Okay, look at the story of this boat driver. He was going home, but he got an order to deliver something, and he went there. He said he had called the person. When he got there, the man said that if you're at the gate, I will be seeing you. He came down, and he greeted the person, this honorable in question. The man didn't answer him. He said he greeted him twice. He didn't answer him. So he was like, maybe it's not the person I'm looking for. It's not the owner of what I came to deliver. He now called the number. When he called the number, it was that time the honorable started shouting at him and saying, you don't know your job. You are this, you're rude. He was even surprised that, oh, you are the person I'm looking for, and I was greeting you, you didn't answer. I didn't even know it was. Even as a human being, you'll be shocked that you're greeting somebody, didn't answer you, and lo and behold, is the person you're looking for. Normally, we're not supposed to, when we bring things to your house, that's the rule. You're supposed to come and take your goods. We're not supposed to carry it into your compound and all of that.
But the boat driver didn't step out of his car.
Well, I don't know, but he said he greeted the man twice. So how they didn't show whether he stepped out or he did not step out. The story is that I greeted the man twice. If he was in his car greeting the man twice, that was not stated. If he was walking by normal thinking, he should have stepped out of the car, because he will not just park and. But he could do that.
Part of the story we are getting,
he could do that.
Grapevine White is that the boat rider should have come out of the car, handed the snails to the man. Called the man to come.
That is a second thing. Assuming they ask you to go to a man's house, You are not sure of the place, but you got there because of the address they sent you, and you saw someone close at the gate. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to greet first. You greet, whether out of the car or inside the car, you greet. The person didn't answer you. Because he didn't answer you, you have to make a call to find out whether the person is out. That's a normal thing. Let's not begin to paint it because it involves, again, this dichotomy, an elite and a boat driver. All right?
This is not painting it. He's trying to ensure that truth prevails, notwithstanding.
So he did what he was supposed to do as a human being. Any of us here would do the same thing, to greet first. And if the person didn't answer you, maybe he has no business with you. That's why he's not answering your greeting. You have to make a call. It was when he called and the phone rang, the man now reacted. So I'm just saying that I do not think that this guy went to set up the honorable. I think the honorable doesn't know he's an honorable, and he should have acted honorably. Because if you didn't have that human relationship, simple, send your servant or your worker, let me not even use the word servant, to go and pick something from somebody at the gate. It would have solved it. See, we should not use anything to defend ethical lapses from people that are highly placed or that we look or that we respect, especially our leaders. If you are in a glass house, don't throw stones. And you should know your office demands, okay, what can you legislate about intimidation in this country from you? Because it's even coming from you. Who should legislate on our behalf? You insulted a man. There is no dignity in labor. You called him a madman, a rat, a poor man. He's proud because he came to deliver something to you, greeted you, you didn't answer him, and when he called, you now started reacting. I think there was no occasion for all of this. If that man had some level of emotional intelligence, and for crying out loud, it should come from him, not even from the boat driver.
All right. One box. Police reaction. Both riders' reaction and the rest of them.
Before I got here for this program, I came from the police station. And for over a decade, every day, I'm always advocating for Nigerians, even outside Delta State. I'm too experienced when it comes to issues like this.
Okay.
I want you to take note that some people are not mentally okay. Recently, there was a police officer that used pistol to shoot his girlfriend. 5 or 6 bullets. Okay. Because the girl said she's no longer interested. And he has invested so much money on the girl. He shot her. We saw what happened in Enugu State a few days ago. That musician, that the police officer said that he should continue singing. He said he's tired. After much, he went back to stage. He continued. Later, he said he's going, he's done. What happened? The police officer emptied bullets into his body. I also know a case in Lagos State where a police officer killed all his team in their patrol van that they want to corrupt him. Meanwhile, he was having a mental health issue. I want you to know that mental health is a problem, and it's only a tree that you tell you want to cut to stand there. Sometimes they say prevention is better than cure. In as much as you are trying to advocate for your rights, you should also advocate for it with caution. You can't see a policeman on the road under the sun with AK-47, with enough magazines, or even if it's a pistol, or even not just a gun with 1 bullet, and he tells you to give me your phone. In as much as you know that it's against the law, you give him, because you don't know the state of his mind. You don't know whether he has issue with his wife or his girlfriend before he came to that room. You don't know whether his boss intimidated him and he's not in a good frame of mind. In as much as you are trying to do the right thing, use wisdom so that you will be alive. People should know that some people are mentally not okay.
Okay, are you saying...
People should know that mental health is something that Nigerians overlook.
Are you alluding that the House of Rep member has...
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that these are factors that you consider. Because of, he overreacted.
So there should be a mental check on him.
Every Nigerian needs mental health check. I did my sugar test and my BP test before I came here because the police, what they were doing, some of their doctors were running this, the Delta State government roll out a health check matter because of the way people are dying. People just slum and die. So it's good to go for health check up.
Diabetes and hypertension, right?
Yes. Yeah. Now, like I said earlier on, the House of Rep member could have walked away.
Yes, you said that.
When he saw that the young man was inciting him, was getting on his nerve. And the boat driver saw that this man is overreacting. Ordinarily, there is no matter there. There is no issue there, but he's trying to make it a case. Why not go back to call the lady?
Because if you think about it, it was in his car. He could have just driven away.
What? Yes.
That would
What
have
if-
even been
what
much
if
worse.
The man disappeared him and conspired with the police officers there.
One box. Let me-
You know,
let me
look,
just
excuse
speak.
me,
Let me
excuse
speak for
me,
you.
excuse
But
me.
it's good things like
Excuse
this happen
me.
so that we can
Wait.
bring out things and
3
help
years
ourselves as
ago,
a
there was a
nation.
case I did in DLA Road, okay, in Summit Road in Asaba. This Mercedes-Benz GL was going, saw police officers, precisely circle department, anti-court unit of the police state, Delta State Command, saw them ahead. That was on the Black House July 7th day. Those boys saw them, reversed, started running. They passed in front of my house in Jesus Saves. I saw them speeding. The next thing, I received a call, because I always get information, that they have killed the driver of the car at DLA Road. I rushed there. And before going, I told my asset to make record. Eventually, those boys were not with gun. But what did the police do? They came at night to lose the plate number. They didn't know that I planted somebody there to wait for them. We videoed it. We had that evidence. That video evidence. The plan's gone. Twist the case. Meanwhile, they got channels, TV, TVC, AIT, everybody. Then I did a news that that boy was an armed robber, that they were chasing armed robber. Okay. What did I do eventually? I did a petition with my evidence. Arrested all the police officers.
So that young man had evidence. He had the plan.
Which young man?
The young man, the Abu Asay, he had a camera. He used his camera.
I'm just trying to tell you that.
He did not.
I'm just trying to tell you that you should be careful. Because anything can go wrong. You can just lose your life.
Let me speak for what you're. Let me try to explain to Chika what you're trying to say. What Bombox has been saying, from what I'm gathering, is that the House of Rep member really goofed. However, it behoves an individual the common sense to protect themselves and not expose themselves to danger.
I get that
That's
fact.
what he's trying
I
to
get
drive.
that fact.
That's the
But
point.
we're trying to treat the matter on the table. Why would it happen? Because it has happened before and it will happen
So it's
again.
like it happened
And
before.
sometimes, when you're on the road, what causes accident is not because the driver is not experienced. Sometimes it could be the carelessness of the person in front or behind
So
you.
what are you preferring? That this House of Rep member who goofed gets some kind of sanction? What kind of sanction do you think would be appropriate?
See, this kind of thing happened in UK, our civilized brothers. You see, the party the man came from were the first to even deal with him, to suspend him.
Abga has reacted to this. Abga has denied him.
It's not denial. You have to do something to show that this person is our own. And we're going to treat what he has done wrong. You can call suspend. Denial is not... Denial is like, okay, we leave you to solve your problem yourself. No, we want to be part of it because we produced you. Okay. So we have to suspend you. The House of Rep have to treat it. And then the society as a whole, we have to... Because it's going on.
Well, the man has
We're
apologized.
not after 15 million.
He has apologized.
Because some people will not get a chance to get 15 million, like he pointed out.
Yes,
all right? So we're saying, why should these things happen? This kind of person should not even get ticket back, because you are showing that, see, he did not only slap. If you slap the guy, it's enough. It would have been finer. But for you to say things, it is the words you spoke that shows that you've actually made how do I call it?
A distinctive gap.
Yes, between you and them, between us and you.
Okay.
So he's saying that you people don't.
Chika, the man apologized. Let's see
what will happen.
Apologies.
Take
It's going to be enough. Let's see the video. He apologized to the House.
I want
The
to
House
say
said,
something.
okay, just say very, very quickly.
Take note that in as much as you are advocating for a suspension or whatever ideas you have, take note that the law supports ADR, alternative dispute resolution.
Yeah.
Take note that this same man now was already making peace with this boat driver before satanic activists jump on the matter and open the wound
Keep
again.
saying that.
Yes, because it's the truth. Look,
He's one of them. He's a divine activist, because
no,
one of them, they're all activists.
you can't see me over, like, there are some things that you can
I
resolve.
put it to you that somebody somewhere might say you're also a satanic activist.
What I'm saying is that
I'm
people
not a
like this
gangster
should get a penalty from the
Gentlemen, let's see
This is a global issue. It happens even in America.
On point of personal explanation, pursuant to Order 8, Rule 6 of the House Standing Orders, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to rise and speak very briefly concerning the incident that took place on October 27th of 2024, involving myself and a citizen, Mr. Stephen Abu Etseya, an e-hailing cab driver. What began as a misunderstanding regrettably escalated into actions and remarks that do not reflect the values that I hold dear, nor those that I am.
Chairman CBN, you're having another parliament there.
As a member of the esteemed House, I deeply regret my words and actions that occurred at the heat of the moment, and I take full responsibility for how this exchange has impacted on the citizen, Mr. Abutseya, his family, and the entire public. I acknowledge that I am human, thus infallible. And in recognizing the significance of the role as a public servant, I am mindful of the weight of my words and actions and how they may have affected those that I represent. Since the incident, Citizen Abutseya and I have engaged in alternative dispute resolution methods, and I am pleased to inform this Honorable House that we have reached a respectful and constructive resolution. Additionally, my sincere apologies to the leadership of the House, my honorable colleagues, and the entire National Assembly as a whole for any deficit of goodwill that this particular incident may have caused. I am aware that my actions reflect not only on myself, but also the esteemed institution, the trust that the public places in us. This experience has served as a humbling reminder of the need for restraint and self-control, particularly in challenging situations. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues,
This your personal explanation looks like a lead debate. It's like an essay.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking. Mr. Speaker, am I protected, Mr. Speaker?
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, this experience has been especially disheartening as it stands in the contrast to the positive strides that we have made in my constituency of Aba North and Aba South, particularly in the areas of health, education, and empowerment. Nevertheless, it serves as a teachable moment, Mr. Speaker, for all of us in public office that is held in high standards. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to tender this apology, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Apologize, the rep member. Something I said behind the camera was why the paper? Because the moment he dropped those papers,
He said something.
it sounded more sincere, it sounded more heartfelt. than while he was reading. And I'm sure he was reprimanded there in the House, sounding like he was having a debate. But let's hear your thoughts. Our time is really far spent, unfortunately.
I just
your thoughts about the speech.
I just want to quickly say, he has given himself opportunities. At least we know him now. We don't know him before. The truth of the matter is that what are these guys even doing for us? I'm just asking a personal question. Because prior to this time, we don't even know him. That means he has not been very useful in the House, as it were. It also goes back to what we said, the way court bring people in. But I just want to quickly say that, do you know that a president has been removed because of this kind of actions from public officers? A guy was in the filling station buying fuel, and the police intimidated the guy. They even shot the guy. That was the end of the government of that country. People protested that if the law enforcement officers can't handle themselves, that means the government of the day cannot protect us. Let them go. So my crave that, or advice, or admonition that this guy should be dealt with publicly so that it can deter people from acting like this. You should know that you are the glass house. We are looking up to you, as it were.
The alternative dispute resolution that he has engaged in,
even if that is between him and the person he offended. But I'm saying collectively, as a nation, as an institution of the legislature, he should be dealt with in his house of rep. They should deal with the situation so that people will know. Otherwise,
dismiss him from the House.
No, maybe you should get the lawyer and sue him now.
It cannot be dismissed. But his party should do something.
Let him finish.
The institution where he serves should do something. This serves as deterrence. It will not stop him from being a House of Rep member. But this kind of, so that I don't come and kill you and then I'll go and settle with your family.
It doesn't work
in
that
alternative
way.
dispute resolution.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Boss, can we have a conversation? You and I. Can we have a conversation? 2019, this thunder struck. It was Elisha Abu who was hitting a lady, and then he made alternative dispute resolution. Still in the House.
No, it was the court. Excuse me. It was not ADR.
Okay, but he settled.
Yes.
That was that video. 2019, internet never forgets, except something happened to the cloud and everything's scattered. However, that happened. Not so good for TV, so we'll take it off. That happened 2019, and fast forward to now, we're seeing another incident again. What Chika Omoso is trying to buttress is that this could recur. And another thing I was concerned about, I said that on radio, is that how about the 1,001 cases we never got to see? Many of them, people who didn't have the smartness or guts, impetus, strategy to have their camera somehow, or have somebody film the scenario.
Or the safety to come out of the situation.
So, as a deterrent, what should be done as a deterrent to stop this from recurring in Nigeria? You don't like violence, do you? You don't want it.
I'm wise and experienced when you talk about human rights advocacy. A few years ago, I think it should be 2020, a past governor, the younger brother, did something like this. I did not video it. I did not go online like the satanic activists. What did I do? I got information, gathered all my evidence. I sued him to Federal High Court Asaba, and he was fined, and he compensated the young man. There are some things you don't put on the media. There are issues as an activist. Activism doesn't mean that you video people and for content creation. Look at the other young man that went for content creation, went to roadside to start betting on the road.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to let you know that.
One box, we understand this unethical conduct of activists.
Yes.
But the concern right now is what should be done as a deterrent, a way to stop this kind of bullying and intimidation.
The law is there. We have the criminal justice system.
The law that happened in 2019, did you stop this one?
We have violence against persons law of Nigeria. We have that domesticated in Delta State by our House of Assembly. We have the civil suit route. If you go through the criminal justice route, you are going to you waste your time, because this man is a politician and he has colleagues that will come and support him. Justice is very expensive. Nigerians will abandon that boat driver. At some point, he will stop going to court. That case might be in the court for the next 5 years.
But the house told him, shoo, go to a committee to handle this matter.
These are political statements.
How it should be handled.
Behind the scene, they are politicians. Pari passu. they know what to do.
Time
So
will
we
tell.
should not
Time will
trust
tell.
our
If-
politicians. We should create an institution where
You
we can
should-
trust the people who are
my
asking to
advice-
lead us.
Okay, let's
Is
take
the
final
civil
advice and
suit.
we're done.
My final advice is that let the boat driver go for the civil suit. 2 months maximum. The federal court will grant you compensation damages.
He is
Chika, your
he's
final
a
statement.
privileged
Final
person
advice.
to be able to go to civil or criminal suit. Because ordinarily, Nigerians at that level where this man has placed them should not be able to challenge him. So I'm saying it should not be individual thing, it should be institutional thing. He works with the National Assembly. They should deal with the matter. It should not depend on this guy who was
After he has apologized.
apologized.
After he has said, "I'm sorry,"
apologize does not correct.
publicly?
It does not correct the wrong.
That means
you are only
need to work on
saying I
yourself.
feel sorry for what
Do you
I
know
have
what it
done.
is for a man to say, I'm sorry?
One box.
Do you know I'm sorry could have stopped
one
Ukraine
box.
and Russia war?
One box.
Are you aware?
One
No,
box.
no.
If Ukraine had told Russia, I'm sorry,
This
Beyond
is
that.
a
between
million
us.
people would not have been dead.
This
today.
is between us, so that enmity doesn't exist between us. But I'm saying, if I've done
I'm
wrong,
only trying to
if
make
the
a
if
statement.
the boat driver has done wrong, the boat organization should be able to deal with
How
it.
many cases have
All
you
right,
handled?
one box.
All right,
That's
and if this
Chika.
man has
How
done
many
wrong, the
cases
institution
have
should
you
deal
handled
with
in
it,
Delta
so
State?
that we can curtail some
We
of
have
this thing.
1,001 domestic
one box.
cases of such. How many have you handled? Tell us. Let's go and investigate after this.
It's
No, we don't-
it's
we
not
don't-
about the
hold
money.
on.
No, you cannot just
But
hear
so
you are
that
shouting.
we can
You are trying to deceive
That's
the
it.
We
viewers
can do more.
so that they will follow your route.
That's our wrap.
Don't get deceived.
I have no route. We
If
should not
you
even be
have-
going to court.
use
If this man
wisdom,
is
use
doing well, we
wisdom.
should not go to
Can we
court.
wrap up now? Can we wrap up? That was a very heated way to end the show right now. And we're trying to catch our breath. We'd have had a part 2 of this conversation, really, but different thoughts, and we accept all of them. After all, this is why we are called the faculty. Different level of reasoning, all thrive right here. But one thing is quite certain. Both analysts are saying no to violence. Both analysts are concerned about the safety of individuals, and both analysts want Nigeria to be a better place. I say no to violence at any given point in time. When you're not satisfied with any treatment, seek redress from law enforcement agents and ensure that you are right before the law. That's all on the faculty today. Thank you so much for being part of it. From Wong Box and Chika Omoso, I'm sure it's good afternoon and goodbye, and you will shake hands so that the argument will end it.
Thank you, and thank you, viewers, for watching.
And I'm Francis Ofulue. Good afternoon and goodbye.